Is Tether becoming too big to fail? Welcome back, everyone. For those that celebrated it, I hope you had a great Labor Day weekend. I took the day off. That's why there was no clip. And look, while everybody was talking about drive chains, guys, we covered drive chains as well. Check out our weekly episode that we dropped on Monday. I will put a link to it in this clip in case you want to check it out. It's in the Wrecked segment, and we just covered all the commentary coming out of drive chains. But this clip is not about drive chains. We're switching gears, okay? We're going and we're taking a look at Tether. Now, for whatever reason, the quote unquote Tether truthers, they like to take shots at Bitcoin maximalists, and essentially they construct this narrative that we think that Tether is so important and quote unquote cannot be touched. Right? We can't say anything about Tether. Well, I'm here to tell you that that's not fucking true. Okay, that's not true at all. Okay, Tether is just a stable coin like every other stable coin. And for the people who try to create the ridiculous FUD that Bitcoin needs Tether, don't forget, if this stable coin were to disappear, another one would simply just take its place. Okay, Bitcoin does not need Tether. Okay, it's the other way around. Tether only exists because it needs Bitcoin. Anyways, let's dive into this article because it's obviously very interesting what Tether is doing. So Tether opts for U.S. Treasury bills to back stablecoin USDT. That's interesting, huh? Buying U.S. Treasury bills at a time when China's selling them off. Anyways, let's keep going. Tether, the issuer of the most widely used stablecoin USDT, has positioned itself as a powerhouse. According to Paolo Ardoino, CTO of Tether, the company has accumulated a staggering $72.5 billion in U.S. Treasury bills, catapulting it among the top 22 global buyers. While Tether solidifies its portfolio, China, once a significant holder of U.S. Treasury bills, is divesting at an accelerating pace, funneling its investments into gold. China's ownership of U.S. Treasury debt is down almost $481 billion from peak levels. The rate of selling is accelerating, said Ivan Bayuki, founder of Wall Street Silver. And just for people to take things into perspective, right? Tether has accumulated $72.8 billion worth of treasury notes, whereas China has sold off approximately 481 billion. So the idea that somehow Tether is picking up what China left off or is leaving off leaves a lot to be desired. So I would say the two aren't really related, but it's definitely interesting, right, in terms of the environment and for us to kind of understand what is going on in the bigger picture. The changing environment augments Tether's role, especially in emerging markets, as a valuable financial resource. Ardoino describes USDT as a lifeline for communities dealing with hyperinflation, offering them a stable financial instrument to preserve their wealth. One could argue maybe it's a subversive, sly, roundabout way to keep the US dollar on top. Anyways, we'll talk about that at the end of this article. Despite facing a 1.2% dip in market capitalization last month, Tether retains its market dominance. Its market cap still stands at an impressive $82.9 billion, far ahead of its closest rival, USD Coin or USDC. While the stablecoin market is undergoing rapid evolution, Tether's climb in U.S. Treasury holdings sets it apart from competitors. Binance's BUSD faces the heat from regulatory scrutiny, and USDC has seen its market share halved over the past year. Tether's market share remains undeterred, holding over 60% of the stablecoin market. By continuously improving our reserves attestation process, we aim to set new standards in the industry and aspire others to follow suit, concluded Ardoino. I think that the signal in that whole article is all the way at the end, okay, where essentially the explanation that the stablecoin market is undergoing rapid evolution and Binance's BUSD is facing heat from regulators. Now, why is that interesting? So this is my take. My take is that Tether is attempting to align itself with the US government. And what better way to do so than pay to play? I mean, take a look, right? They're buying US treasuries. I think that is a strategic move. I don't think that they're buying it because they necessarily believe that US treasuries are such a great investment. Of course, the argument could be made because of the because of the current rate of return in our current environment, which I think it's like 5% now or something like that. Anyways, it's desirable. So the argument could be made that they're doing that in order to maintain their capital. I'm talking about, when I say they, I'm talking about Tether. That argument could be made. I personally think that with the size of Tether, the amount of regulators that want to sink their teeth into Tether, I think that this purchasing and accumulating of treasury bills is absolutely a strategic move to align with the U.S. That's my opinion. Another piece of it, which could be playing out, could the U.S. government be working with, working with Tether already and essentially trying to shore up the U.S. dollar's strength? I mean, in the article, it was outlined how Tether supposedly helps these kind of impoverished communities be able to store their value in USD much easier than using the traditional finance rails. Personally, I mean, look, I don't live in those places, so I can't really attest to that. I know I have seen that mentioned several times, so maybe it is legitimate. But I think it's much more about Tether trying to save, essentially trying to save their own skin. And going back to what I said at the beginning, I know that there's a lot of people that seem to think that without Tether, Bitcoin wouldn't exist. Bitcoin existed before Tether. I mean, that's just the honest truth. Bitcoin existed before Tether. Bitcoin did not need Tether to come into existence. Bitcoin does not need Tether to exist. So the reality is that as much as the influencers and the people that want to spread misinformation about Tether in regards to Bitcoin, as much as they want to scream and shout, the reality is that any stable coin can show up and just simply do the exact same thing. So Tether is really not as big of a deal as the truthers want to make it out to be. Anyways, guys, that is our clip for today. Like and subscribe, help the channel grow. I will catch you all tomorrow.